Yo guys, Absolute Audits here. I was going to do some mystery about where we're heading, but you can see in the title where we're going. We're off to the Isle of Wight. Let's go. Okay guys, before we get into the video, I just want to say a quick thank you to today's sponsor, which is Skillshare. Now, Skillshare are an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take the next step on their creative journey. They offer thousands of inspiring classes for creative and just curious people on topics such as illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and pretty much anything else you can think of. I've personally really loved the houseplant classes, such as this one from Christopher Griffin. There's some really great ones about watercolours and being creative. Genuinely, these have really helped me. As well as this common law course, which I'm halfway through at the moment, and I'm finding it very useful, which is probably something that a lot of you guys would take an interest in. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning. There are no adverts, and they are always adding new premium courses, so you can stay focused and go wherever your creativity takes you. There's pretty much no limits on here. Now, I do need to mention that the first 1,000 subscribers who use the unique link in the description are going to get a totally free 2 weeks to trial it, give it a go, try out the premium membership and explore your creativity. So anyway, yeah, let's get into the video, and once again, thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Yeah, so we're up here today to talk about a story regarding a prison officer who slept with a baby killer in this prison. Yeah, she was a female guard who worked here. This is her. Her name is Lauren McIntyre. She is 32 years old. And basically, in 2018, she had an affair with a convicted double murderer. And he was actually serving life for the brutal killings of his former girlfriend and their baby daughter. Which is sick, guys. So, the prisoner that she had a fling with, an affair, may I add, was with a prisoner called Andrew Roberts. Now, he's been in here since 2003. Yep. For a news report.
You know you're not meant to
Stand back. This is a publicly accessible area of the prison, so yes I am.
Oh, you do.
Yeah. I've not crossed any physical boundaries, so that means under Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act I can record here for the purpose of my news story. What do you mean? I don't need to. I'm reporting it to you now.
You should be actually contacting the prison to be able to...
I do this up and down the country, mate.
Who did you work for?
I'm an independent journalist.
Right.
So I go up and down the country and I'll be here for 10-15 minutes, then I'll be gone, providing I get no hassle. Especially if it starts raining. So I want to get this done before it rains. I'm just here doing a story about Lauren McIntyre. Not sure if you know about her. She was a guard here, and she had sex with a baby killer in jail, and she's gone to prison for it. So that's what we... Well, she doesn't. She's in prison. So I'm just making a public story about it. Okay?
Yeah, give security a ring.
So yeah, as I said, I'll be 10-15 minutes, then I'll be gone. So yeah, anyway, before I was interrupted, Judge Hetherington told her the effect of this sort of misconduct obviously is to undermine the safety and integrity of the prison service. It has a corrosive effect on everyone within the prison system and reduces the service in the estimation of the public, whose support is so much needed if the public is to have confidence in the criminal justice system. You had no regard for that, only for your own selfish interests. So yeah, she's been sentenced to 3 years in prison. Excuse me, do I have any comments on Lauren McIntyre? She slept with an inmate who was convicted of killing a baby. Do you condone that sort of behaviour? Do you condone that sort of behaviour? Yes or no? It's a simple question, love. Right. Now, every few years, prisons have to undergo inspections, and part of that is that they survey the prisoners on certain aspects. Now, I've analysed the report and I've pinpointed some things that I think really need to be reported on, but as yet haven't been reported on. And they are as follows. 59% of prisoners say they were not offered frequent toilet breaks during transfer from court to prison. That's over half. And 21% say they were left in the van once they arrived for over 4 hours. Now, there is no practical or logical reason for this to happen. Their punishment is the prison sentence. Their punishment is not things inflicted upon the prisoners by the staff. Leaving them in a van is breaching policies. Yep.
Can't stop you filming, but it's got to be done from the road, not on prison property. You can stand out there and film, but not actually here.
But unfortunately, I'm going to politely decline.
Well, they said they get the police.
They can call the police. It's go and tell them Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act gives me an implied right of access into a publicly accessible area of the prison during its operational hours. Now, your prison is operating 24/7.
Right, well,
So,
my bosses,
yeah,
they said you film out there,
yep,
prison premises.
that's fine. Honestly, I'm. They can call the police. Some people came up here and did this the other day, and the police just said, "Can you go down there?" Until I've finished reading this, I'm refusing. Yes.
How much more have you got?
Well, I'm on bullet point 2, and there's 12. I'm over halfway done. As I said to you, I'll be 10-15 minutes. You know, I'm not here to cause any, harassment.
I mean, even we're not allowed to bring cameras or anything to work with us.
Yeah,
you know?
but that's
why
past.
would it be okay for the public?
But with all due respect, what detriment is it to the prison that I'm filming the outer wall?
Then you're not on a notice on a property.
I actually, before I go anywhere, due to my autism, I like to view things and get familiar. So part of what I did actually was I looked on Google Street View, and you can actually see this on Google Street View.
Way, just so you know.
Yeah,
Have
that's.
you got any vehicle with you?
That's fine. Nope.
No.
I'm just. Are you the superior he's talking about?
No.
So I'm just.
So the police have been called.
That's fine. They can be called. I mean, if you hadn't come up to me, I'd probably have been done by now. I did say to you, I'll be 10 minutes and I'll be gone, didn't I?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay. And as I'll explain to you as well. Under Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act, I've got an implied right of access. Thank you. Okay, as I was saying, So actually 15% of prisoners reported that when their property was returned to them, all or some of their property was missing. So yeah, that's 15% of prisoners reported that their property has conveniently gone missing. I wonder how that explained that one. Now, on their first day in custody, 58% were refused access to a shower, 26% were not allowed to make a phone call, which is their right on their first day here, and 19% were not allowed anything to eat. 19%. You cannot deprive people of food. Well, not filming you. Who are you? Who are you? I'm just doing a report. Now, another 32% have reported that they had their legal letters opened by staff, which is also unlawful. Prison staff are authorised to open all prisoner mail except legal letters. It is a massive conflict of interest when the state are opening people's letters from their legal representatives. It is not acceptable. Now the next point is 16% of prisoners feel that they could not ask an officer for support if they needed it. 38% of people feel unsafe in this prison. That is their one duty, is to keep the prisoners safe. And 38% of them agree that they're failing on this. Now 16% have reported that they have been personally victimised by staff, and even more shockingly, 3%, that's not a small number when you take into account the amount of prisoners that are here, 3% have been physically and or sexually abused by staff. Now when that's broken down, 2% of that, 2% of the 3 is sexual assault. 2% of prisoners have been sexually assaulted by the guards here. That is not acceptable. Now another 2% of prisoners have been racially abused by staff, which in perspective is roughly 9%, as ethnic minorities in this prison make up 25% of inmates. Now, I know we say it time and time again, but these prisoners are here in prison as punishment. They are not here to have extra punishment thrown on them in the form of abuse, whether that be racial, sexual or physical. This is quite an apt moment. Only 45% of prisoners say the healthcare is good in this prison. Less than 0.5% say that they have access to good healthcare. Now they can't help that if they're on the inside. I don't care what they're in there for. The state have locked them away, so they have a duty to provide them with healthcare. Now, another 15% have reported that they have been threatened and intimidated by staff when making complaints, etc. Again, not acceptable. 34% of inmates have said that it is very easy or easy to get access to illegal drugs. And 5% of prisoners who leave this prison have developed a drug addiction inside the prison that they didn't have when they arrived. 5%. The whole system needs an overhaul. It is not acceptable, any of these figures. There they are. Now they say they've called the police. Yeah, I can. What are you going to do about it? It's not against the... What do you think I can do with a registration plate? Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act gives me an implied right of access to any publicly accessible area during operational hours. Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act gives me an implied right of access to any property, government, private or public.
That's right, the police are on the way, so they'll escort you off in a minute. Explain it to them.
They really won't.
They will?
I do this for a living.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, this is my job.
Excellent.
Exposing...
A lot of people have filmed here, got escorted off the premises by the police.
Yeah,
3 weeks ago.
I'm well aware of that. However, I looked at the land registry,
Yeah?
and they shouldn't have been.
Really?
Yeah. They were escorted...
Right, well, they'll be here in a minute. Don't run off. Hang around for them.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes excellent content for my YouTube.
Okay.
Get loads of money if they turn up.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so if you can get them quicker, that would be great.
Yeah.
I've got loads more to do, so...
Okay.
Are you a prison officer, are you?
No comment.
Do you condone... Let's read you some of these figures. Now, 5% of prisoners who come out of this institution have developed a drug addiction that they didn't have when they arrived. How's that possible in a clean prison? Are you not doing your jobs properly?
I don't know what job I do. I could be the cleaner.
She's a prison officer.
Is she?
2% of inmates have been sexually abused by staff here. 2%. 9% of ethnic minorities have been racially abused by staff. 38% of people feel unsafe in this prison. 15% of prisoners had their valuables removed from their property. Do you think that's funny, do you? I don't think it's funny. A lot of people are pissed off. This is not acceptable. No comments to make at all. Just sit there in silence. It's embarrassing. Not fit for purpose. Hi guys, what do you think about 2% of all prisoners in here have been sexually abused by staff? No. 2% of prisoners have been sexually abused. 9% of ethnic minorities have been racially abused. 38% of inmates do not feel safe in this prison. 5% of prisoners develop a drug addiction. Why are there drugs in the prison? I thought there's a no drugs policy. Excuse me, love. Have you ever seen drugs going into this prison? 5% of inmates develop a drug addiction in this prison. 2% are sexually abused. 2% are racially abused. What do you think about that? Are you going to condone it? No? No comments. Hi guys, sorry I forgot to record the outro, don't know what happened. I just want to say a massive thank you to Rodney, who is a subscriber from the Isle of Wight, who drove me around all day. So yeah, thank you very much, Rodney. And yeah, thanks for watching. There will be a new video coming fairly soon from the police station. The police did turn up to the prison just as we were leaving, but thought it wasn't worth the aggro of going back and arguing with them. But yeah, until next time, AA, out.